Dr. Calvin Mackey. Back in my
What is it,
day.
Calvin Mackey?
Thank you, President Pastorette and friend, for that introduction. To the board of directors, trustees, thank you all for all that you all have done to
I don't
stand
know
up this
why my
university and
signal
make sure that it's
ain't
here
right.
for these graduates over the years and into the future. To the faculty, staff, and administration, thank you for doing what you had to do, the sacrifices that you had to make sure that you were able to deliver the pedagogy that these students need to get the instruction that they need to be able to go on and take on the world in the 21st century. To the parents, friends, spouses, kids, and everybody else who supported these graduates, thank you. And let's give them a hand. You're getting the degrees, but I know there had to be somebody standing by you all of these years. To the graduates who did the work, who stayed up all night, who did the coding, who had to work on the computer, who wrote the papers, probably with the help of Chat GPT or whatever else you can use. Congratulations to you for doing what it is that you needed to do to achieve your dream. Congratulations.
Did you hear?
Telling all the business.
We do go back like 20 years. And walking in here, he told me, he said, Mackey, remember the 5 B's. I said, Paul, what's the 5 B's? He said, be brief, brother, be brief. And when I looked at the program, and I thought I was the only thing standing between you and your degrees, I said, I'm going to be brief, be witty, and be bold. You know, my name is Calvin Mackey. Paul said, come and be you, Calvin. I said, now, Paul, you know that can be dangerous. He said, I need you, Calvin. I said, you got me. Girl, just my name is Calvin Mackey, and I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm from back of town, Dirt Town, Zion City. I'm from the lower 9 where we don't mind dying. I'm from that Wild Magnolia, I thought I told you. I'm from that CP3, you know me.
Uh-oh.
The only thing I'm trying to say is just like many of you, I started from the bottom.
Now, man.
Congratulations. Congratulations. We are here. We're here.
Yay!
And before this speech is over, you're going to realize I can go from 0 to 100.
Real quick.
Because I want you to know I never needed a rapper or entertainer to tell me that I got greatness in my DNA. I had family members, I had a wife, I got church, I got people in the community to tell me that I got greatness in my DNA. You all have achieved, you all have worked, you've put in the work. And the day you're going to get your degree, and never again you're going to have to go forth and ask anybody to validate you, because University of Arizona Global Campus is validating you today. Yeah, you got greatness in your DNA. Just to be on this journey and to do it.
We already knew that. We was great.
To finish it,
Instead
of races, I'm about he or she who endures it to the end. And you made it to the end. You made it to the end, and that should be celebrated. Celebrated today. Get up tomorrow and look in the mirror and say, I did it. 10 years from now, look in the mirror and say, I did it. Now, don't do it like me and did it like for 11 straight years. Now, that's kind of insane. But you know, 2 caveats. My beautiful wife, Tracy, she believes that she's a pharmacist. So she believes that I'm ADD and I've never been treated before. So it's very hard, sister, to stand at this podium like this. And caveat number 2, don't confuse my passion with anger. Everywhere I go around the world and I begin to talk about the world through the lens in which I see it, in which I've lived, people want to say that's an angry young black man right there. And I said, no, I'm not angry. I'm just passionate. And to be honest, when you look at the condition of many of our children, look at the condition of many of our schools, look at the condition of this country, look like somebody should be mad, look like somebody should be angry, look like somebody should be taken to the street. But I'm not angry, I'm just passionate. And I'm happy today to be here with other passionate people, because it took passion to do what you have done. Something inside of you, when you wanted to quit, came up out of you and said, we're going to keep doing, we're going to keep pushing. When people told you no, you got up in the middle of the night and you did what you had to do. You did it.
Ain't nobody
This
listening to
thing
the
called
global
passion
guys.
is real. But James Baldwin said a passion is unfriendly. He said a passion is contemptuous of all which is not itself.
He got too
He
much
said a
swag.
passion contains a challenge, but more importantly, it contains an unspeakable hope. And anywhere I go, I try to challenge everybody to be better. Be better for themselves, or most so be better for the people around them. And I refuse to leave anybody with an unspeakable hope. And graduates, I want you all to know today, for many of the people in this room, to see you walk across the stage, that's the hope that they're gonna need to keep going. This thing called hope is real. I got a friend named Dr. Trudy. He said, back when you lose money, you've lost a little. He said, when you lose a friend, you've lost a little. He said, when you lose money, you've lost a lot. He said, when you lose hope, you've lost it all. As I go around this country, looking in the eyes of our children, look like they've lost it all. But UAGC today, you have 1,000 people walk across this stage who are going to be light points of life going out into the world, bringing back hope to our children. See, this thing called hope is real. Hope is the thing that caused Rosa Parks to sit down and caused the nation to stand up. Hope is the thing that made Tuskegee Airmen believe that they could fly airplanes when their own government told them they couldn't. Hope is the thing that made George Washington Carver do with a peanut 100 years ago that Harvard PhDs still cannot do today. Hope is the thing that turned Detroit Red into Malcolm X. Hope is the thing that turned crackheads into teachers and drug dealers into preachers. Hope is the thing that made John F. Kennedy say, don't ask what your nation can do for you. Ask what you can do for your nation. Hope is the thing that made Patrick Henry say, give me liberty or give me debt. Hope is the thing that made our founding fathers right. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Hope is the thing that made even George W. Bush, when he ran for president the second time, entitled his speech, The Duty of Hope. Hope is the thing that made Ronald Reagan, when he talked about the shining city on the hill, Ronald Reagan said, America's the last best hope for man on earth. Now that's some hope for your behind. Hope is the thing that took a 47-year-old man, sent him to jail for 27 years, and he came out a world leader. Hope is the thing that made Cesar Chavez organize migrant farm workers. Hope is the thing that took JC from big pimping to a billionaire. Hope made Jameson to the moon. Hope is the thing that took a black man with a white mom and a goat herding daddy, made him believe that he can be president. And some people said, no, you can't. But a country called America stood up and said, yes, you can. You see Arizona? You see Arizona Global Campus? Hope is that little voice in your head that whispers maybe when the whole world is screaming no. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. Rose from Alabama, I don't know about you. Randy from Tally, I don't know about you. Young man I met from San Diego yesterday, I don't know where you, but from where I'm from, where I grew up. When I was coming up, I thought my name was No. Can I go to the store? No. Can I do this? No. Can I go over there? No. Think I can be an engineer? No. Think I can be a doctor? Oh, hell no. Many of the young women looking beautiful today. I remember back in the day, I used to ask you, may I have your phone number? No, they used to tell me, no. But you see, back in the day, they didn't want me, but now since I'm hot. So young men, keep hope alive. See, hope is that voice in your head that whispers maybe when the whole world
I can hear it on your laptop.
And I don't know who told you no.
That's why I said
I don't know if people even today told you no. But you know what? Today, University of Arizona Global Campus is telling you, yes, go forward and change the world and do what we know that you're capable of doing. Because if there's ever a country that needs you, it's this country right now. In the 21st century, our children are only going to have three options. Either they're going to take something, break something, and they'll make something. If we don't get the skills and the education and the motivation and the inspiration to make something, like make a living, make a life, make a difference, that's only going to leave us and our children with the two options that we see on the news every night. I didn't want that for my two. I know that you don't want that for yours. And the fact that you sit here today is proof positive that you didn't want that for you. So in 2013, my wife and I started an organization called STEM NOLA because we was in a garage with our sons, giving them science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we saw the impact that it was having on our own children. And one day my son came home, and he said, Daddy, my friends want to know how I know all this. I said, did you tell them you do this in a garage with your daddy? He said, yeah, Dad. He said, but my friends need this. And right then and there, my son realized that he was exposed to people and things that his friends were not. And he believed in his heart of hearts that if his friends was exposed to the people and the things that he was exposed to, they'll be just as bright as him. And I realized right then and there, Paul, that I had become like everybody else in keeping my time, my talent, and my treasure in my own house and to my two when I had more to offer the world. And you all are getting these degrees, and I want you to know that you all have more to offer just to yourself. There's a world that needs you. Go forth and do it. I used to be a professor at Tulane University, the first and only African-American ever tenured in the history of the college at Tulane University. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, Tulane did something that shocked the nation. In the aftermath of the greatest engineering disaster in the history of this country, Tulane decided to keep the football team and eliminate the engineering program. And I lost a six-figure tenured position at 37 years old. And somebody said the only way you lose tenure is by an act of God. I said, well, God decided to act. But he was a football coach.
That was acting out.
Who'd ever thought I'd still be here coaching football?
Right.
Going as a tenured faculty member. I said, oh man, don't worry about that. I said, maybe the young men in the hood got it right. He said, what you mean? I said, maybe I should have been doing wind sprints when I was studying calculus. Because the message that Tulane University sent to the children of New Orleans and to this country, that many universities sent to our communities, is that it's all right for our children to come to these universities and run that rock, dunk that ball, hit that pill, stop, drop it like it's hot and entertain us. But don't you think about coming here and getting a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics degree, or a degree like you to save yourself and your community from the next natural disaster? So let's congratulate the University of Arizona Global Campus for making a pathway for people like you to get the things that you need. And then in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, my family lost 29 houses. And I used to go to work every day at Tulane listening to Tupac. It was me against the world. I leave listening to Biggie Smalls, Who Shot You? You know what I'm saying. I went home, and 8 people had moved in my house post-Katrina. And the guy was up in the tree, cutting my tree. I said, man, you might want to come down out that tree. I walked in my front door, and my 2 sons was playing with their train, their Thomas train. They ran up to me and they kissed me. I said, love you, sons. And the train was still going around the floor by itself. I went in the kitchen, and my beautiful wife was cooking for all the 8 people that moved in her house. And she was cooking her amazing gumbo. She had catfish frying. She had red beans. And she was making her world-famous potato salad. I went out here last night. Y'all don't know how to make potato salad. Her potato salad is so smooth, I can rub it on my face. Woo! Say, I love you. Now I looked over at the window, and the window was open. And I just saw money going out the window. I saw my nephew in the corner. He had moved in with me. He had the computer on, the iPad on. He had the headphones on. He had the music playing. I'm like, look, man, can you just turn something off? I went in a great room where my uncle was sitting watching the same news every 30 minutes in a 6-inch television with the air conditioning on, the lights on. I'm like, oh, can you just go take a walk? My big brother had moved in with me. He upstairs by himself with the lights on, with the radio on, with the computer on. I said, can everybody just come downstairs and get in one room? My daddy had moved in with me. The week before Hurricane Katrina, my daddy was diagnosed with level 2 lung cancer. He's supposed to start his treatment the day of Hurricane Katrina, but we had to evacuate. Took us 6 weeks to find him, and when we found him, we took him to the hospital, but they couldn't re-diagnose him because the water destroyed all of his records. By the time we got him re-diagnosed, cancer had spread to all over his body. This big old strong man who dropped out of school in 8th grade to pick cotton, who eventually started his own roofing business, who raised 6 children to go to college. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, he lost his business. He lost his house, and eventually he lost his life. Now, thank God I had done something with my life such that when this imperfect man needed me, I was able to be there for. I thank God I had done something with my life such that when this imperfect man, maybe you all know some imperfect people, and it's becoming upon you such that after you walk across this stage to mend relationships such that you can be there for those imperfect people. He was sitting in the corner waving at me. And I thought about this. I said, all these people depending upon me, and I done lost my job. Thought about the 2 lessons that my mom and dad gave me. My mama said, a job may be your resource, but God is your source. My daddy told me a man's supposed to get up every day and go out and hunt and kill, or he shall not eat. I went in my room, I fell on my knees, I prayed, and I got up the next day. Since I had 4 STEM degrees, I went out and I created an alternative energy company where we take waste streams like waste vegetable oil and convert it into biofuel and sell it to oil companies. Now that's gangster. Since I had this education, since I had these degrees, I was able to go create a company to make sure that me and my family never had to depend on another man, another woman, another government to do for us what we can do for our world. And that's why we're here today. That is the American dream. That's the American dream. In the 21st century, you got to continue. There was a poet that said the illiterate of the 21st century will not be he or she who cannot read or write. It will be he or she who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Arizona Global is giving you everything you need today. But you got to continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn. As a professor at Tulane, I'll never forget, I was sitting in my office, and I got a PhD in hydrodynamic stability. Yeah, I'm bragging. I just like saying the word, just make it seem so important. I was sitting in my office, and a guy called me, and he said, man, come down to my business. I got an issue. And Kevin, I went to his business, and there was a big pipe, and the pipe was thumping, thump, thump, thump. I said, man, that sounds like a hydrodynamic stability problem. He said, that's why I call you. I said, great. He said, fix it. Went out to my truck, came back in with my tools, put my hand on the pipe. Dump, dump, dump. Hit the pipe with my hammer. Bam, the pipe went smooth. That's engineering 101. Hit it with a hammer first. If that doesn't work, you read the book. The man said, man, bill me. I said, well, I'm definitely going to bill you. I went back to my office and I typed up invoice and faxed it to him. If y'all know what that is, that's a machine and you put the paper in, and I faxed it to him. Boom. And he got the fax. And the fax read $200. He picked up the phone, he called me, he said, you must be out your rabid mind if you think I'm going to pay you $200 fitting a pipe with a hammer. I said, oh, you want it itemized. He said, break it down. I said, well, let it be broken. And I faxed the itemized invoice to him. Wham! And he got the invoice, and he read the invoice. The invoice read $2 for the hammer, $198 for knowing where to hit it. See, the man and woman who knows how will forever have a job. The man who knows why will forever be their boss. Before you got this degree, you knew the how. You got this degree, now we need you to know the why, because we're sending you out in the world to be a leader. And in closing, don't think this thing is about you. We live in a real selfish world right now. Everything, me, me, me. People got their head done, they got their hair done, but not their head did. They're on Facebook, but won't put their face in a book. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And I fell for that too. Mr. Patrick told you I started college in remedial reading, development of math. They said, see spot run? I was like, no. They said, right, boy. They said, go directly to remedial reading. My friends used to call me and my buddies from Louisiana LD for Louisiana Dummies. And every day on my way to remedial classes, I used to look up at a wall. They had writing a sign on that wall that said, when you find out you're behind in a race of life, you got 2 choices. Keep running or quit. And I thank God that you all kept running. And I got up every day and I ran and I ran and I ran. And my friends laughed and they laughed and they laughed. And I eventually got my degree from Morehouse. Then I eventually got my degree from Georgia Tech. And one day I was supposed to sit in the audience like this, just like you, to get my master's degree. And when I got my first degree, everybody came. My family, everybody came. But my daddy. Hurt my heart. The only thing I wanted was validation from my daddy. And in his own way, he got in an argument with the family, and he jumped out the truck. Didn't know how to fly, so he couldn't even go down to the airport to make the graduation. 3 months later, when I got my degree from Georgia Tech, I invited everybody again. They said, boy, you graduating too much. That's too much traveling. So nobody came to the graduation. but my two cousins who lived in Atlanta and my girlfriend. And one of my cousins that came to the graduation, I know why he was coming. He had just got out of jail, and I knew he was going to ask me for some money for restitution. And sure enough, after graduation, we went to dinner. He was like, cuz, can I get some of that up out you, man? So my master's degree came up 2 years later, and I decided not to go. Forget that. They can mail me my degree. And that Monday, I'm walking down the street in Atlanta, and I see a senior vice president from Georgia Tech named Dr. Norman Johnson. Dr. Johnson saw me across the street and said, Mackey, come here. I had my backpack on, I ran over there. He said, where were you Saturday, you blankety, blankety, blankety? I said, man, I was in the lab working. You know, I said, they can send me my degree, that ain't important. He said, you blankety, blankety, blankety. Don't you ever think this was about you. There was a little boy and a little girl in that audience that needed to see somebody like you come across that stage and get that hood so they can know what's possible. You're blankety, blankety, blankety. So when Mr. Pastor had called, I redeemed myself and had to change my schedule and said, I'm here. Because I want the little boy and the little girls in the stands to see me and see now Dr. Daly and to see these people on the stage and to see you walk across the stage and know what's possible. University, UA, Global Campus, you all keep pushing. Just remember, we're not here to, we got roads to lift, roads to run. We got things to do. And more importantly, we got to go out in the world and show the world what's possible. Congratulations and thank you for keep running. Thank you, thank you, thank you.